Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Engineer Igwe Chima. I'm a current student of Canadore College studying cybersecurity. So the research that I'm going to discuss about dwelt on the best two practices of bring your own device, abridged BYOD. So the two policies I researched about were using the social media in the workplace and the principle of least privilege. Using the social media in the workplace enhances communication but raises concerns about privacy and dissemination of inappropriate content. Therefore, organizations should develop policies on the appropriate use of social media in its workplace. The use of social media in the workplace, like I said, raises privacy implications for both the employers and employees. Organizations should develop policies on the appropriate use of the social media, depending on the privacy settings set by individual users. Personal information and communication posted on a social media site can be read by unintended persons. The policy should establish best practices and outline expectations for acceptable use of social media in the workplace. Of course, set out consequences of misuse and address any workplace privacy issues. Why this is done is to reduce unauthorized access and vulnerability in the system. Similarly, the principles of least privilege is a security strategy which states that a user, system, or process should be granted the least amount of access necessary to perform its tasks accordingly. The goal of this principle is to reduce the risk of unauthorized or impact of security breaches by limiting access rights to the barest minimum required to accomplish a task. By implementing the principle of less privilege, the damage that can result from errors or malicious intent is contained. Therefore, using the principle of least privilege and the social media in the workplace are two distinct concepts that can intersect in the context of workplace cybersecurity and policies. The social media used in the workplace can refer to employees engaging with online platforms for marketing, networking, or communication purposes, while the principle of least privilege is a cybersecurity concept whereby users are given the minimum level of access or privileges. The use of the social media in the workplace is about utilizing technology for business growth, while the principle of least privilege relates to securing sensitive information and systems by restricting access rights. We are making all this comparison for a full understanding of the role these two policies plays in the workplace. Using the social media involves the use of platforms like Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn for networking or collaboration, while the principles of least privilege is a security concept that involves giving users only the minimum level of access To make the principle of least privilege more effective, the following principles must be put in place. 1. Users' access rights should be regularly audited. 2. We must ensure proper user authentication. We must also implement a rule-based access control and monitor log access. We must integrate least privilege across all systems. When we say regularly audit user access rights, we are talking about consistently and constantly reviewing who has access to what. You can ensure that only necessary permissions are granted and unnecessary privileges are revoked. When we talked about implementing a role-based access control, we are talking about an approach assigning permissions to roles rather than individuals. Users are then assigned roles based on their job requirements, limiting access to only what is needed for them to perform their roles and tasks effectively. Then the third one, ensuring proper user authentication, is talking about strong authentication process by verifying that a user is who they claim to be before granting access. This can involve multi-factor authentication, where more than one piece of evidence is required to authenticate a user. Thus, you need a second authentication. Then, when we talk about continuously monitoring log access, we are talking about keeping track of who accesses what and when that can be quickly identified and respond to inappropriate or not unauthorized access. By so doing, we improve the overall security in the workplace. We must also integrate the least privilege across all systems and applications, like I said. By applying the principles of the least privilege uniformly across all IT ecosystems, ensures consistencies and reduces the likelihood of privilege, access abuse, or errors. When all of these are embraced and put in place in the workplace, will reduce the unauthorized access of individuals, and so therefore reduce vulnerability and make our workplace a safe and a better place. Thank you so much for this brief video, and I look forward to publishing more videos and invite you for future subscriptions. Thank you and have a blessed day.